Last week, the Sound of the Freedom movie came out, and the mainstream media outlets are trying to silence it and discredit the movie, which is absolutely weird because it is a movie bringing awareness to child trafficking in the world. Then, the 2024 presidential election will most likely be a rematch of 2020, but this time, I think Donald Trump has a clear shot of winning. Then lastly, there was an opinion posted by MSNBC that if you work out, you are part of the far right wing, which is super weird. I'm Solo, and this is the Solo Show. So on the 4th of July, The Sound of the Freedom was released, and it was a major hit. It actually outpaced or outsold Indiana Jones the day of it being released, and it had way fewer theaters premiering it. It stars Jim Caviezel portraying Tim Ballard. This movie brings awareness to human trafficking and how Tim Ballard, a U.S. Homeland Security agent, rescued young children from the human traffickers in South America. This, of course, is a great movie. I've yet to watch it. I'll probably be watching it this weekend. And it really shows you the evil our world is. These things happen on a daily basis, happening at all times as we're at work, having fun with our families. And these people are really disadvantaged that are victims to these crimes. Here are some scary facts about human trafficking. It is the second largest and fastest growing criminal industry in the world, second only to drug trafficking. In the movie, it does make a disturbing point, but true, that you can sell a cocaine once, but you can sell a child 5 to 10 times a day for 10 years. So more than likely, in the upcoming years, this will become the #1 criminal industry in the entire world. More than 1 million children are exploited each year in the commercial sex trade. And since 2021, 350,000 unaccompanied minors have came across the border, and in the past 2 years, more than 85,000 of those children have lost contact with the Health and Human Services, and tens of thousands have fallen victim to massive child smuggling and child labor operations. And I don't understand why why aren't the elites of the world focusing on this problem more? People like Mel Gibson, Tim Ballard, Jim Caviezel, Daily Wire, and Elon Musk are pushing this out to be shown to the public to really shine light on this topic. I feel like it's not something that's a top priority of the United States. And for some reason, the left-wing media is telling people to not watch it. They're discrediting the movie. And this all seemed very strange to me. So, multiple liberal outlets have trashed Sound of the Freedom as QAnon adjacent and fit for QAnon. In recent days, descriptions that regulate the film about human trafficking to fodder for conspiracy theorists. Author Mike Rothschild said on CNN that the film was created out of a moral panic and based on bogus statistics and fear. Baylor didn't hold back in his criticism of Rothschild's analysis. As that guy is talking and he's nobody's hero, by the way, I can't imagine any kid looking at him thinking he's going to help me out. But I think of the children that are really depicted in that film. I know what happened to them. Those children were subject of child rape videos. Those children were being sold for sex. In total, you see over 120 kids are actually rescued. Jezebel's piece on the film called it an anti-child trafficking fantasy fit for QAnon, and filmed at last QAnon Camp Appeal gets cinematic exploration it demands. And what's insane about this is none of these liberal outlets are saying how it connects to QAnon in any way, saying the conspiracy theories from here are connecting to Sound of the Freedom. They just kind of say it. And I've been really skeptical of conspiracy theories. I don't believe in many at all. But I mean, from Jeffrey Epstein to the countless people from Disney and CNN being caught with either child porn or pedophilia, to now this, it's making me really question what's going on. It is super weird. We are supposed to be, all the G8 countries are supposed to be banding together and fight stuff like this. And in America alone, 85,000 children were lost as they were crossing the U.S. border, which is absolutely insane. I highly recommend you guys watching this video and to support Tim Ballard's movement. It is truly incredible work that they're doing over there. And this is something that we should all be aware of in our everyday lives. So the 2024 presidential election is pretty clearly going to be Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Joe Biden basically has no one else running against him. The only real candidate is probably RFK Jr., but the Democrats, of course, are not going to let him go in. They are even pitting him in the far right category. But on the Republican side, it seems like Donald Trump is going to be winning the primary, where he now leads Ron DeSantis by double digits. So it's basically going to be a rematch of 2020. But this time, I think there's going to be totally different results. So this is going to be an election of who shows up to vote. As you know, Biden, from a recent poll, Biden loses to Trump 43.1% to 43.2%, with about 13.7% of voters being unsure. Now, I don't think it's so much of these voters being unsure rather than, they've both been through, these voters been both through Trump's presidency and Biden. So I don't think it's so much that they're unsure, but more of like they don't like each candidate. So they have lived through, Biden's approval rating is down 13% in the recent polling. So I highly doubt he will be reelected. It's going to come down to the independent voters, and they're going to have to choose. Are you going to choose the culture war that's going on, or are you going to choose the economic crisis going on? And I think the important thing to the independents are going to be the economic crisis that Biden has created, and they want to get backtracked on having a more livable life in America. So lastly, an opinion article titled "The Far-Right Obsession with Fitness is Going Digital." In the article by MSNBC, it goes on to say, it appears the far right has taken advantage of pandemic at-home fitness trends to expand the decade-plus radicalization of physical mixed martial arts and combat sports spaces. Earlier this month, researchers reported that a network of online fascist fitness chat groups on the encrypted platform Telegram are recruiting and radicalizing young men with neo-Nazi and white supremacist extremist ideologies, initially lured with health tips and strategies for positive physical change. It basically just goes on to physical fitness has always been central to the far right, which is super weird, and basically go on to say these types of training radicalizes men and turns them to a fanatic love of the fatherland of the German nation. So, the article is horrible. It's basically tying fitness to small radical groups of Nazis, which is a very, very small groups. And this is the same thing they do with religion, with eating healthy, and anything positive really that's good for your mind, your soul, and your body. They'll tie it to either Nazis, racism, white supremacy, or some type of phobia. And it is absolutely incredible how much they reach to basically tie positive things to the far right. And it is completely embarrassing by them. Twitter went pretty wild. Elon Musk basically saying that MSNBC is saying that if you work out, you're a Nazi. So it's absolutely funny. That's all I have for you guys today. Just go ahead and leave a like, comment, and share, and I'll go ahead and see you guys tomorrow.